What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crown Cinema Podcast. In this episode, we literally just watched Natural Born Killers. What'd you think?
Like kind of what we were saying earlier. Like within 10 minutes, once I realized that this is the movie we were getting ourselves into, I kind of strapped myself in and was able to appreciate. I liked it. It was a good movie.
It's like the entire movie is like a psychedelic trip.
Yeah. It's funny because, again, here we go again. Like, this is a movie that I've never seen. I've been hearing a little bit about it. I swear, like, my algorithm at this point is just showing me it's just recommending movies that I haven't seen. It's just like keeping up with the podcast, I think.
Right.
And so I haven't seen this before. Went into this movie with no knowledge. I didn't know the plot, didn't know anything. I just knew Woody Harrelson was in it and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in it until he popped in the first time I saw it.
I think I saw like some type of picture of him like doing the movie. But yeah, pretty wild ride. Or shall I say?
What a journey.
What a journey.
There it is. Haven't gotten one of those in a minute.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Yeah.
With some of the movies, but this was truly a journey.
Yes. So this movie was Tarantino wrote it, but he refuses to put his name on it. He allowed them to put story by Tarantino, but he hates the fact that they rewrote his script, that like changed the whole story. And he said he walked out of the theater when he went to go watch it when it finally came out. He walked in the theater, watched it, and walked out with the I Love Mallory sitcom scene. He thought that was so bad that he was like, "Wow, I can't watch this. This is not my movie."
Damn.
But he
did he say specifically? I mean, I guess he didn't see that much of it to like really break it down.
He said afterward he's never seen it in its entirety, but he has like seen clips and stuff like on cable. He said, or maybe on YouTube clips or whatever. But he won't watch the whole thing because he just hates the fact that they changed it, and he feels like it's way worse than what it was.
I wonder how they changed it.
Well, so this morning I read his original script, and the main change is that the story's not following the killers. It's not about Mallory. It's about them, but it's not following Mickey and Mallory. It's following Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Okay.
And it's more about, because like, I guess the point of the movie is showing how the media portrays killers and they like glorify them and make them look like rock stars.
Definitely.
Like, remember that Rolling Stone magazine when they had the bomber, the Boston Marathon bomber?
Mm-hmm.
The Rolling Stones put literally a picture of him that looked like a rock star. It's like, this guy murdered a bunch of people, but you're making him look like this like hot, sexy, cool rock star.
Yeah.
And so like, it's obviously talking about that, how the media can like corrupt the masses by making them look like stars. But so Tarantino's version is just more about the guy trying to get the show. So it like builds up and talks about them. And then at the very end is when you finally see him in action when they break out of the prison. Okay,
I would have liked that. I would have liked to seen that too. That's definitely a cool take. Like it's more of just because they do that briefly in the movie. They show like his version of like how certain things happened with Mickey and Mallory killing the cop at the donut shop.
Yeah,
and so they show like the dramatization of that.
Yep.
So that would have been pretty cool to kind of show maybe Robert Downey Jr.'s character, he's showing a more like innocent way or a more rock star, and then at the end you could show them just being pure evil.
Yeah. Before we get into the differences more, what's your rating?
Give it an 8.5.
Scott?
I really like this movie.
10.
10? Damn. I'll give it a 7 because I do actually like it, but I don't think the style I don't like the style really.
Oh, see, I love the style.
Parts of it do work and parts of it really do make it funny. And honestly, some of the ways they shoot it makes it funny and enjoyable. But for me, it's just too much of the cutting around, too much of the trippiness. I feel like maybe 90% of the movie is a Dutch angle. Like literally half the movie is crooked.
Mm.
And then also, I don't like how in the beginning it cuts into the black and white footage, like the grainy footage. I don't like that in the beginning because it seems like it's just random. Because in Tarantino's original script, there was black and white footage written in. Like the way he wrote the script was like literally pretty much not shot listing really, but like explaining all the shots in the movie. So that went later because it's again builds up to the interview, and like the rest of the movie is like shot from the interview. So like you actually see how the people on TV would watch it for the most part, which it makes sense to cut into that black and white to show like the point of view, but like the random cuts in, I don't know, it just kind of throws me off. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah.
I thought there was a point to the black and white. they almost like act crazier when it's the black and white scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like they reshot the whole scene, but they're like, this time, all right, really go for it. And so they like intercut that to kind of show how crazy people can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because I think they're kind of going for, because they do confirm that the movie is set in the 90s. So this is, because this movie was made in what, 94?
Yes.
Yeah, 94.
So when this movie came out, it was, current day time. So all the people at that point, I feel like a lot of the shows that they've probably grew up watching were black and white. So it's kind of showing their interpretation of like, oh, I'm on TV. Like, so like, that's why they get crazier. They're acting a little bit crazier for the camera, essentially. Yeah. Like maybe that's what the black and white's like kind of trying to show.
Yeah. And again, I get what you're saying. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Just personally just don't like the way they do it.
Style, yeah. No, I mean, that's something you either like or you don't like.
Because I feel like if it came in chunks, like if let the movie sit, because for me, like my favorite part of the movie is the characters and the way they act. Like I love all the characters. That's why I enjoy that's why I enjoy watching the movie. But sometimes you just want to see them act and like let them just be on camera. You don't. I feel like it cuts in too much chaotic movement, which is obviously the style he went for. Which I just wish they would let it come in at just like moments.
Yeah. I do like the message of this movie, and they make it very clear like what they're going for. Because essentially, the setting in the beginning is like, I guess you can tell that it's in the 90s once they confirm it. But really, I think what they're trying to show is like the destruction that media has like done to human minds and cultures, and you could even say attention spans, has created a type of hell on earth. And they make that pretty clear in the movie because they're showing like Route 666.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson's character, Mickey, he's constantly saying like, oh, we're on the road to hell. Because like that's just like where I guess humans are going.
They even have that comment with the weather is essentially just, no, the news is basically the weather.
Yeah.
But it's man-made.
Up.
Yeah, man-made.
Man-made. And then like kind of all the shots in the beginning of, I could get like a little deep into this.
Go for it.
So they're showing Mickey and Mallory. Sorry, I keep wanting to say Mickey and Minnie. But they're showing Mickey and Mallory where they're cooped up in a hotel room or they're driving down the road. It's like showing almost like they're driving like in a TV screen because they've just been consuming so much media like that. Like that is their world. That's all they see. It kind of gets them off too, because that is like a serious thing that we still have to this day, is people are morbidly obsessed with watching like true crime or murder documentaries, like understanding the minds. I mean, they name drop Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmer. Like they went for a bunch of killers and like exploiting
Ted Bundy.
They name dropped all of them.
Right.
And they were even comparing the killers at one point. They were like, who's your favorite killer?
Yeah, and he was jealous of the fact that he was like making sure that his story got more ratings than the other ones.
Yeah, so it's just showing, and so not only are they consumed by this and they're almost living a free life or a rock star life where they're just on the road doing whatever they want, but they kind of get off on it too.
Right.
It's kind of like, why do you watch a scary movie? It's because you get the thrill of it without actually being in danger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really affecting you. And so I just like the message. I like how it was done.
I agree, because Tarantino's original script had that in it.
Yeah.
And the reason why I like the way his flow was, I think it might have been a little bit boring. I think the rewrites, the reason why he wanted to was fine, because for like a large chunk of that script was that flashback showing the TV show. Like, remember whenever Robert Downey Jr.'s, it's playing that show and then it cuts to him and the thing, he's like, cut this, cut that, don't do this. Where's my close-ups? Like more close-ups to me.
Yeah.
And my favorite part from that is when he's saying, when they're talking to the warden, Tommy Lee Jones character, and he's like, pause it on his face rather than laugh. He's like, don't even let him answer. Fuck it. Just like doing a funny edit for a thing that's going to be on TV. He's like, fuck it. Don't even let him answer. It's like, oh my God.
RDJ and Tommy Lee Jones easily stole this movie.
Yes. But so the beginning, so that part could have been boring. But I do like the build up because maybe that would have worked because it kind of takes you through what the people in that world were seeing through TV,
Mhm.
and it builds them up to like be these killers. And at the end of that montage, what's really fucked up about these two characters that wasn't in the movie is that it would have been cool to see this. Mickey, what represented himself in court.
This is in Tarantino script.
His original script.
Okay.
Not in the movie, but he was supposed to be in court, and you're going to see a video of him in court, and he was, what's it called? He was his own lawyer.
Okay.
So he's doing the whole shit.
Yeah, he was representing himself.
And they brought up one of the people that survived, but nobody wanted to come in and be a witness and like get cross-examined by the person that killed all the people that were around him. So a little girl was brave enough to like step up and say, like, not a little girl, but like a girl, like a young girl, said, "Okay, I'll do it." And she felt like she needed to do it for her brothers and her sister and her like girlfriends that got murdered by these people. And so at the end of this like thing, while he's examining her, making her like relive the thing and like tormenting her essentially on the stand, he takes his pen that he's writing with and just fucking stabs her and kills her in court. So that's how like the twist ends, to like show how horrible these people are.
Yeah.
Then after that, the rest of it is then the scene where they escape and they're getting interviewed and they escape. So it would have been cool, I feel like, if it built up to that and then you see how brutal they are and how actually mastermind killers they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have built up to like maybe a better thing. But again, it's essentially two different movies.
Yeah. I was just thinking kind of during the jail breakout scene, I was just wondering, like, all these actors, did they know that this was going to be the final outcome? Like when they went and saw it on the big screen, where they're just like, what the hell? Like,
right.
What happened?
That's what I was thinking too. Like when you're walking down this, because you don't really know unless you don't see
You're
it.
just on camera, saying your lines, and then that's it. Like you don't have anything else to do with the movie at that point.
But you might see the cameraman on the side just fucking doing this with the camera, just fucking back and forth.
It's like, well, I mean, they know what they're doing. I mean, like, I trust them. And then Woody Harrelson gets in the movie and sees all the different cuts, and then the demons popping up out of nowhere, like all the crazy just shots. Just, the like, what do you call it? Like those split-second shots, like you can miss it, like when you blink.
Insert.
What are those?
I don't know if it has a name. I'll look it up.
Okay, well, there's like 1,000 of those in this movie, and it's never ending from the jump. Honestly, maybe even the jail is like kind of when you get a little break from that. The jail seemed to be the most kind of fluid, continuous shot. Maybe, and I guess I kind of interpreted them doing that as like nobody gives a fuck about like media at this point. Like all these people are like truly surviving, and like this is the most alive that they've ever felt. So nobody's caring about what anybody thinks about anybody. I don't know. It's just, on the other hand, I also think it kind of goes back to that one Quentin Tarantino movie we watched. What was it? Planet Terror?
Oh, that was not Tarantino. That was Robert Rodriguez.
That's right. But Tarantino, like,
he did the Death Proof one.
Yeah. I think I said something on that episode where I was like, do you ever think at that point in Hollywood, it was just like, hey, I got this movie and I got this set. We got this for like a few months. Like, y'all just want to come party and we'll just film a bunch of shit and then we'll see what we got.
Yeah.
And you got to think, especially for Robert Downey Jr., this was like a day in the life for him in the 90s at this point.
Pretty much.
I mean, this dude was so cracked out. Like, it's just very well known that he was on drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, you think they were all just like fucked up making this movie?
Maybe, but you kind of have a point because in reality, I think during the 90s time is whenever they let filmmakers just kind of have their free will.
Yeah.
They just like let new guys come in and like, hey, you have your own full creative vision, like go for it. Because clearly, I mean, a studio would probably not pass this movie. Like, what the fuck? People aren't going to watch this.
Yeah.
This isn't going to sell tickets. It did, but...
Did this do well?
I think it did do well.
Flash frame.
Flash frame.
There we go. I think it did do well. I think it made like... I don't remember the number.
It did, I think, 110 million.
Okay, yeah, 100 million. I mean, because I bet I'm just speculating here. I don't actually know this is a fact, but I bet like the beef with Tarantino on it maybe boosted it a bit. Although probably not because Tarantino wasn't a name back then. This was his first script.
Yeah, he wasn't that big.
He sold this script to make Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
This is how he made Reservoir Dogs after he sold this script.
So it took 34 million to make, made 110 million.
Hollywood, baby.
But this style is experimental. Have y'all ever really seen anything like that?
maybe 1 or 2 movies like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
I think
Would you count that
I
as
think
experimental?
That's pretty trippy.
I've only seen like a clip, but yeah, probably.
It's definitely it's the same style.
Nice.
So, but I don't know how well that would have done. I imagine it probably did all right because it had Johnny Depp in it. I just don't know what kind of big name Woody Harrelson was. But Tommy Lee Jones, he was definitely a big name
Yeah.
at this point. I mean, that dude, for this character, all he did was just be Two-Face
Yeah.
from when because he played Two-Face in a Batman movie.
Mm.
Yeah, and he acted just like that, except now he got F-bomb approval.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love, like, his character is so fun to watch with how crazy he is. He was, like, losing his voice on set because of how much he was screaming.
Oh, no doubt.
And I bet he had to have, like, between takes, he would, like, drink water so his mouth was wet. Because when you see him screaming, just, like, spit is just flying out of his
Yes.
mouth.
Dude, no, that was the craziest performance because we just saw, oh my God.
No Country.
Yeah, thank you. And he can play such a tired,
Yeah.
just old man, just, and then he can do that.
Yeah.
And then there's other, I mean, he was doing a lot of movies, like Double Jeopardy. He was the main character in that movie.
My
I don't
favorite
know if you've
character
seen that.
is Robert Downey Jr.
It's
I
a
love
tie
his
between them.
performance. I love his
I mean,
performance.
he's insane, but also cocaine.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely
Like
coked up on something.
like it was confirmed, you know, it was just
Yeah.
it was just a well-known fact that Robert Downey Jr. was doing a lot of drugs like in the 90s.
In the interview at the end, his like producer was going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they talking too much.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Tommy Lee Jones. I think that was my favorite part was when he was freaking out about the prison break like happening and being broadcasted on the worldwide news. And one of his security guards says like, "Well, they killed so and so," and he's like freaking out, and then he looks at me, he's like,
Yeah, he killed this guy. What? He killed
Jack.
Scagnetti. He's like, okay.
just a pretty crazy performance. I feel like as an actor, you would love to do a movie like this.
Oh,
though.
it's got to be so fun. You're
Like,
just like getting to be wild.
All you have to do is go as hard as you can.
Yeah,
Like, and I promise you, if you do that, we're gonna get what we want.
yeah.
They casted so well.
Definitely.
But so I agree. I like the casting. I like Woody Harrelson as the main guy, but Tarantino hates that Woody Harrelson was casted. He didn't explain why, but like him and Woody Harrelson, I guess, have beef. Like he doesn't like him. Like they don't like each other. So he's like, I would not have cast Woody Harrelson. I don't think he did great at all.
Really?
Yeah, but he just doesn't like it. I don't know why.
That is so funny.
I thought he did great. And
Yeah,
it's,
it killed it.
it's insane how much it looks like McConaughey.
It's. I was actually gonna say it's insane how much he acts like McConaughey.
That too.
Yeah. Like just. I mean, obviously they kind of have that same Southern draw, but I'm talking like mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they kind of just do kind of the funky, but they can also make it look cool
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah, makes sense that they're best friends now.
Yeah, and there's like a theory that they're long lost brothers. It's not possible, obviously, but
You really
You
you
could
think
believe it.
you think he looks like him? I don't think
like bald. I think when he's bald, they look pretty similar.
all the bald guys.
But it
look
could be the
alike.
mannerisms that I'm thinking about too, because you're right. The mannerisms do make him look alike.
Yeah.
So I think that's also like look at bald McConaughey. That could be Woody Harrelson.
I think you're just
You don't think so?
stereotyping bald
You
people.
think so or no, Scott? Like cousins or something.
Yeah, cousins.
They look related.
Cousins for sure.
That looks related.
Not that one. Okay, the bald McConaughey looks like bald Woody Harrelson.
We'll go to the next one, all right? We'll just have to make our
He's
own.
Not there.
He's hammered in this one.
Yeah, why is he always hammered? Bro.
I don't know.
Maybe not, but I don't
see
know. I
any-
kind of see
I don't
it.
see any Woody, but the mannerisms though, I'll give you that.
For sure.
Like they definitely have that kind of just that carefree swagger, but like make it look cool. And
Yeah.
look like jackasses on screen.
Yeah.
Back to what you were saying about them being obsessed with TV and all that media. When they're in the motel, you know how they're in the bed together and he won't take his eyes off of the TV. Did you notice that?
I thought he
Mm.
was not taking his eyes off the woman that was taped up.
I don't think so. I think that was when they were having sex.
Okay.
Is when he did that.
And so that's a good point, because if they're just consuming TV and they become like crazy because of the TV they're watching, becoming killers, whenever the Indian guy sees them, the trip shows that says like too much TV or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I loved that too. Like the use of the projectors.
Yeah, on their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That kill's interesting with the Indian is because everybody was killed who didn't want to die. They just like murdered these people that were innocent that, you know, wanted to live. But the one kill that they regret is the Indian man, because they say because they helped him. But he's also the one guy that wanted to die and also knew he was going to die, because he misses his wife and he's like, I saw a demon in my dreams 20 years ago. I've been waiting for you. Like waiting so he can finally get killed so he can go off and be with his wife again. Mm-hmm. And so that could be the most justified death, like the one death that's like the person that they killed was actually okay with it, but that's the one they regret. They're like, we killed somebody that wanted to die. Fuck.
Yeah, well, and I think there's another, I think you could argue against what you're saying, because the people that they're killing, it's kind of the same message of like everybody's obsessed with media. Everybody's depressed because they're not the ones on TV. They're not the ones that people are talking about, like blah, blah, blah. They're obsessed with whatever's in front of them. They could be shown the worst possible thing on the planet that really nobody should be objected to or subjected to. And yet, you know, they love it. They consume it. They don't know it, but they're actually really fucking depressed. Like that's what Woody Harrelson's character is like kind of getting at. He's like putting these people out of their misery because nobody should be living like this. But then you get to the Indians, like his plot of land, like where he's at, clearly doesn't have a TV around there.
Right.
Like he's not consumed by the media. He just tends to his herd, flock, whatever you call it. And then he takes care of his son. I didn't even catch that his wife died.
Yeah, because there's wife's pictures on the thing. He keeps looking at it.
Yeah. But like this man, this man, to me, it seemed like he understands the world around him. And he probably understood that anybody who did come onto his land was a threat based on the fact that they've been consuming some of the worst stuff that you could. So whoever stepped foot on his land is like essentially a demon, because they're so obsessed with really fucked up stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than just living and enjoying the natural, like what we were really supposed to be enjoying all along.
Yeah.
Like
it's also they're on shrooms, tripping on drugs.
Yeah, they're in Arizona, or at least it looks like it. And I mean, that's where you go. When you're gonna go trip is just go somewhere in the desert.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like anti-psychedelic, because they're eating shrooms and they're killing a bunch of people. Like that's what's making them kill, because they're like out of their mind, fucking tripping out. But usually people that take shrooms are like very chill, mellow, connected to the earth.
Yeah, somebody in the 90s took like their kid to go see this movie. And when they walked out, they said, and that's why you fucking don't do drugs.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, that was the worst piece of shit movie, and that's what Hollywood's turning into, because everybody's getting fucked up there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, actually. It's actually kind of, yeah, it's poetic, because it is, I think, like stop. Like, go enjoy a movie every now and then, but like, don't get obsessed with this culture.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, these people are not good.
And don't get obsessed with like actual killers that have done horrible things. Like stop idolizing them.
Stop. Obviously, we haven't learned our lesson. You go on Netflix, they have a whole section of murder documentaries on like real stuff. And damn it, I mean, I just watched one like 2 weeks ago.
What was it about?
Some guy like fucking killed his wife.
Classic.
Nice.
Yeah, just the classic murder story.
Because
it's so, yeah.
I was going to say Oliver Stone picked the movie up because during this time was when OJ was in trial, and he said literally every single channel had it on. It's like, okay.
Everybody was talking about OJ.
Yeah, all the time.
Because of OJ, we have the Kardashians, by the way.
Yep.
Never forget. So if you thought, oh, wow, it probably can't get any worse than this. Well, it did.
And you think, okay, like,
I'm
why
getting
is
pissed now to think about it.
you think like, okay, well, why is it dark that they were showing this trial? Everybody's curious about this guy that killed his wife, so let's see like what's going on. But it's because there was so much money made during that, because advertisements were playing on every single channel when people were tuning in to see OJ. The company that was playing it made so much money. So like they're exploiting this horrible thing that happened, this murder, blasting it out to everybody. And think about the people that actually were affected by it. They have to see it every fucking day.
Yeah.
They can't move on. And then all these corporations are just making a fuck ton of money off of the horrible tragedy that happened.
Yeah, and it looked like kind of at the end with that montage when they were showing OJ, like they were also hinting. It was kind of somebody like flipping through the channels, I think, is what they were going for. And it just, it sucks because nobody wants to watch somebody give a speech on, somebody did something good for the world and they're giving a speech on it. You would rather watch the O.J. Simpson case. Like you would rather skip over like a Nobel award-winning person that's done good for the world, that's probably going to make a real positive change. But no, I got to see what O.J.'s up to.
Right. Yeah. It's dark. What'd you think about the I Love Mallory sitcom scene?
So the way that I took that was like, because the whole thing is definitely like giving a montage to like, or not a montage, it's paying homage to just media in general. And I think more specifically entertainment media. And so, sitcoms, I think were one of the most like original, like when entertainment media really started to kick off. I think of like the Andy Griffith theme show and a lot like Family Matters, like those kind of shows. And it's all trying to show you the real world, because a lot of those shows, they were trying to like give you life lessons. They were trying, everything like had a good message, and they would try and show you a little bit of ugliness, but that's just not the case. That's the problem with TV, is that it can warp people's mind, I think, to where they just start living like a sitcom.
Yeah.
And it's just not the case. And so
I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't really like it because it's very odd and weird, but an argument for it.
That's why it's so cool.
yeah.
But an argument for it.
Yeah, that's why I enjoyed it.
Yeah. An argument for it would be that it's told in that way because, again, like you were saying, media for sure. And also because it could have been shown through the dad's point of view almost, because the things he's doing is horrible, but he probably doesn't see himself as horrible. So like you're seeing it as like him as a sitcom, because like what makes me think that is whenever he's talking about when the wife makes a joke like, okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna go tell the Duncans it's okay, I'll be back, and she like leaves the dinner table at some point, the wife does. That's like probably not how she said it if that were to be a real life scenario, but that's how the dad probably sees it in his head. It's like, it's all fine. She's like, this is what I do.
I like it because it's, like Gray said, like the happy family sitcom. This is just doing like the most fucked up stuff.
I think it was exploiting what sitcoms
track.
were like behind the scenes. Especially, I think it's kind of taking a shot of how guys were probably acting on those shows, like behind, like when they were on set, like they're the stars, and they're portraying like these real godly, like good men. But then, like, you think it's Hollywood, especially back then, guys were ruling everything. It's been made very clear that like men, especially during that time, like when sitcoms were a big thing, were exploiting women like on set. Like, an actress only got the role if she did something with the lead guy.
Yeah. It's also kind of cool seeing a sitcom being shown in like such a dark, like having a sitcom be shown in such like a dark way.
No, it was twisted for sure. I mean, they went all out on the sitcom. Who is that? Who's the comedian? The king of one-liners?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay. I feel bad. I've never heard of him. I didn't recognize him at all.
He's
a scary looking dude.
What's that golf movie? Caddyshack?
He's in that?
Oh, he's the
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Yeah.
Gray was like, and this is the point, I think. They made him look like a monster.
Yeah.
But you're like that guy, and I was like, you don't know
Rodney
Dangerfield, the king of one-liners?
Yeah, I really don't.
And he would be on a sitcom probably, being a comedian.
He started that? What a crowd. That was him?
I tell you, I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape, you know? I mean, last week I bought a whirlpool for my bath. So far, I lost 3 of my best ships. Okay, last week, nothing went right. I bought a waterbed. There were 2 Cuban guys swimming in it looking for Florida. I tell you, people are nuts, you know? My dentist, too, another beauty of my dentist, he found a new way to hide his bad breath. He holds up his arms.
So when they were filming that scene, he was like,
got it. King one-liners.
Yeah.
he didn't understand what the scene was. He's like, what am I doing? Like, how does this work? And like, cause it's, you know, obviously the very dark scene when he's like grabbing his daughter's ass and you're like, God, oh my God, they gotta show it.
And then they tell you that the son isn't her brother.
No, he is, but cause he said that he's like, well, what about him? If I haven't had sex with you in 15 years, what about him? She's like, well, you thought I was or Mallory.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying is like, that's what's so messed up.
but it's not his.
Oh.
You thought you were in Mallory's room. That's the last time
He
you
was
touched
drunk,
her.
thought he was in Mallory's room and had sex with his wife, thinking it was his daughter.
Okay.
How terrible
got
does that
it.
sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm saying,
Still
they just
messed
did the most fucked up stuff to juxtapose like what sitcoms are like.
Yeah.
Because none of the backstory was in the
Wicked.
original story with what Tarantino wrote. Like, there's no backstory about like what caused them to be bad. Obviously, trauma causes these killers to be this way.
Yeah.
And so, you know, showing it helps you understand them. But it's almost, I feel like not knowing their past and just like going from the glorified way of like how you normally see it would maybe tell the message a little bit better of just like not relating to them, yet they're still the stars of the show, you know, being the famous killers. So without knowing the trauma they've been through and all their life, and then personally just like being like, these guys are so crazy, killers are so cool, would then kind of make you feel the same way as you would in real life of how the people are.
There's a little fact, and I actually want this to get checked because I read this in a fiction book, but it was about like the psychology of like what it takes for a person to actually like commit murder. And in the book, it claimed that anybody, and I think everybody that has committed murder, like they don't come from, there's never been somebody that's like committed like cold-blooded murder that didn't come from a fucked up background.
Really?
Like anybody that comes from like a good family, like good, you know, just traditional, like just a nice dynamic, they don't have it in them to like be a killer. So every killer pretty much has come from a really fucked up background.
And that's a point in the movie, I think, too. I don't like this.
Like, they suffered some kind of abuse as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about, what's it? Scagnetti? Think about Scagnetti. He had a traumatic past, and he also killed that girl in cold blood.
Yeah.
Which I don't really like. That doesn't make sense. Maybe it does make sense because it's showing that because these people are so famous, it's like influencing people to want to be like them. And so even it's influencing cops to be more evil. Because this guy just wanted to kill in cold blood because, hey, I killed somebody too. Like he wants to be like the people he's chasing.
He wants to be in the story. He's not trying to catch them to stop them from killing people. His whole intention of catching them is to just be the guy that caught him.
Yeah, they want, because I mean,
he just wants the headline.
Because even Wade, what's his name? Wayne Gale.
Wayne Gale.
Even Wayne Gale is wanting the fame. Everyone wants the fame. What does that say?
In this book, all the murderers, every single one, were subjected to serious emotional abuse during their childhoods. He reports 40% of the serial killers interviewed reported being physically beaten and abused in their childhoods, while 70% reporting...
How are you going to cut off the 70%?
How are you going to cut that off? They had witnessed or been a part of sexually stressful events as children. Also in the movie, they interview a therapist, and he says no to this exact thing. He's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't believe what women say.
And he also looks like a shitty fucking therapist. He's like a lazy guy, doesn't trim his beard.
He actually doesn't even say it like what's Scott. Damn.
Your thumb?
Can't be.
I'll tell you what, to be fair, on the last episode me and Mercedes filmed, it cut out. And I
Yeah.
don't think she's holding it with the thumb, so you might not be at fault here.
I really don't think I am. But I've been doing this for a while now.
It's also been cutting out for a while now.
Yeah. But no, the psychiatrist scene, like just showing, because honestly, they give him the look of somebody that just looks kind of grimy and
Yeah.
like not a good person, probably.
No.
Probably doesn't give a fuck about people. And did they present him with that fact, like what I just said? And all he says is just,
No, they didn't present it, but they asked him.
yeah, and he just no.
And
I
then
don't know. I
I don't
don't
think
even.
so.
I don't even think they ask him. I think he just says it. Matter
No,
of
he
fact.
asked. He's like, "Do you think they were sexually abused as children?" It's like, yeah. Well, I'd probably have to say no.
Yeah.
Poses.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's exactly it.
Okay, yeah. It's just, yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, but that the sitcom scene, it is fucked up and it is interesting to watch, but it's just so fucked up. Like when I first watched it and I see him grabbing his daughter's ass, it's like, oh God, okay,
Yeah.
damn. Hold on, pause. Let me switch that cord out and see if it works.
Hold on. Of course, I
Sure,
can't
it's on
believe
the mic.
which episode is this? What number?
69.
Wow.
Also, we're back.
Yeah, it took us 69 episodes to finally switch out the cord.
It wasn't always cutting out. Don't give me that.
No, all right, we'll keep going.
Anyway, green, just like the movie. That's why you
Yeah,
picked it.
I chose the green cord because they showed that color just a lot in this movie,
Yeah.
and I don't really know what that means in movies.
I think I really do think the green might have just been, maybe it has a symbol, but I think it's just because like snake venom, you think of venom being green, snakes being green.
Yeah,
They're like dying from the venom, so like their world's green.
Yeah. They also, like when they were injured, when they were breaking out of the prison, it was all green. I think it's when they're just really in a like bad state of mind or something like that. 'Cause
yeah,
there was also like different lighting cues, like during the interview, even more than just the interview, but like when they're being evil, like it all just turns red
yeah.
in camera.
No, and I like that. I think what you're talking about in the interview is Robert Downey Jr. Like when it's on him and he's getting really into his question, he's getting like really
Angry.
Yeah, well, and he's getting very descriptive of like how messed up what they're doing is, and because of how angry he's getting, like he's pretty much turning into them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then when Woody Harrelson, what's his name in the movie?
Mickey.
Oh yeah. When he's talking, he's like turning blue, right? He's like seems chill and he
Yes.
has the answers,
Yeah.
and he just like completely turns blue.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it is cool seeing him be charismatic when he's in the interview and he's joking. He's like joking with the entire crew staff with this plan. Now you don't really
Pretty good joke too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good job.
you don't pick this up, but there's a shot of him before they take him to go to the interview. There's like a crowd on the wall, like a superimposed crowd on the wall, and he's like thank you. In the script, what he was doing was practicing his jokes. So he planned the whole thing from the get-go.
Okay.
He knew at some point there'd be downtime, so he's gonna tell a joke, get people off guard, and then fucking make his move.
Okay.
It's like him doing that was him rehearsing his jokes, because it's kind of funny
Nice.
when it cuts back to him, and if you notice that, he's like sweating, wiping his leg. He's like, damn, you guys are a tough crowd, because none of the jokes have been working.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, how about this one? And he tries another one.
Yes.
So he's like, damn, my plan's not really working that well. Fuck.
Got to stick to killing.
Yeah,
I won't make it as a comic.
a lot of killing. And then, so one other thing that Tarantino hates about the movie is whenever Mickey is cheating or like kind of like insinuating that he wants to cheat or bring other girls into the mix.
Yeah, he says every man needs variety.
Right.
Yeah.
Which them two, like why they're famous is because they do it's like their world, their love. It's the only
That's
thing
a
they care
Bonnie and
about.
Clyde type thing.
They'll kill anybody. This
Yeah.
is only their world because their love is so strong for each other. That's why people
Mhm.
love them. It's like these guys are just cold-blooded killers, but for each other. They love each other so much. But whenever he goes to cheat, that kind of subtracts from the fact that they're doing it for each other. But then you could also think maybe Oliver Stone added that because that then shows that the public's view of these people aren't actually true. They made that up
Mhm.
because clearly there's trouble in their relationship a little bit, but on the outside, the way they're portraying it is that they're a perfect couple. Like they just love each other so much.
Mm.
It's like the perfect marriage. So that kind of just would like contrast it.
That reminded me, there's green when she goes to go cheat, I guess.
on the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Damn. Yeah. What does
What's
green
green?
mean?
I think him cheating, because I don't know. I mean, I think towards the end of the movie, they kind of have a better understanding, or maybe they really don't, because he tells Robert Downey Jr.'s character right before he kills him, he was like, I want to make a statement. But then he like tells him, he whispers in his ear, he's like, I really don't know like what the statement is.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you really have a good message to send, or deep down, do Mickey and Mallory?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Miranda.
You changed it. You said something else before. Minnie. You said Minnie before.
Yeah, it's Mickey and Mallory. Like, I think deep down, maybe they just kind of, what started out as real love, like passionate, once they started getting a taste of fame and once they start being consumed by the media, which is them. Because I also think about that. Like, imagine how bad the media is for you, like, when you're not the one on TV, but all of a sudden you're even more corrupted because every time you look on the TV, it's you. Like, that might do even more, like, damage to your conscience or your soul.
Especially whenever, like, you're talking about if it's Mickey or Mallory.
Mickey and Mouse.
If they were, you're saying like them watching TV and seeing themselves like corrupt some more.
Yeah, and
because imagine if you're a killer and you see yourself being blasted, like loved for doing what you're doing. You're like, oh sweet.
And then you see like pretty girls at these rallies that are wearing shirts that are saying like, "Kill me, Mickey," essentially like, "Fuck me, Mickey."
Yeah.
Like, I want to have sex with you. You start seeing that, it kind of just corrupts the pure love that you started out having.
Right.
So I kind of like that. I kind of like that direction being taken.
Yeah, I think it might be a good choice.
I think they get lost, like, and then he kills somebody that he really didn't want to kill, and that kind of goes against like what it started out as being, because when they were killing people, they were freeing them, and then he kills an innocent man
that was already free, probably.
Yeah,
natural world living.
Yeah. So then it's just like shit. Like, we got lost. And yeah.
I found out what green means.
What does green mean?
The color green is used to indicate the sickness in Mickey's mind and shows it prominently several times. And it starts with the key lime pie at the diner. Love that.
Interesting. And okay, so maybe whenever she's having sex with the gas station attendant on the Corvette, because she sees him walking up, she sees Mickey walking up as the gas station attendant. And so his, like, Mickey's sickness, you see it like reflected into her, because he obviously turned her into a killer. She wasn't going to kill her parents until Mickey showed up and said, hey, you can.
Yeah, she was just going to go see a concert. That was it. That's all she had planned that night.
And she got raped by her father.
Yeah.
Man.
Man, come on. Somebody's got to... Holy shit, we got to get past that.
Okay, so that makes sense. It's the sickness in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's weird because, like, the girls that, like, want... Because, like, I think back in the day, Ted Bundy, girls liked Ted Bundy. Like, they wanted Ted Bundy to, like, hit him up. Girls wanted to visit Ted Bundy because he was, like, a good-looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's kind of... Yeah, because women are infatuated with serial killers for some reason.
Nice guys finished last.
Yeah, so this says...
No. It's not important.
Oh, okay.
I'm still looking for it.
But yeah, no, I've definitely seen yourself on screen like that and being romanticized on TV definitely would corrupt you more.
Oh. Okay. What does that say? Hybristophilia is the large number of women attracted to Ted Bundy after his arrest. I gotta look up that word.
Hybristophilia.
So
that's
right.
that rings true to these serial killers. They get romanticized to be like these cool guys that are just hard men.
I wonder what OJ's sex life was like when he didn't go to prison.
What do you mean?
Or
hybristophilia, man.
Yeah, like when he.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
right.
He got away with it. Like, maybe they thought that was even sexier.
Yeah, oh, dude, imagine dating him after.
There's actually an SNL skit on that. It's pretty good, but it is weird to think like what. I mean, you clearly can't go to any like clubs or bars or restaurants or.
He does. He lives a normal life. Like he acts like.
Maybe now.
He's dead.
Oh, he is dead. I forgot he died.
His sex life was probably interesting afterwards. I don't know.
Do you remember his Twitter when he had a Twitter? He's like, "What's up, Twitter world?" And he's like giving motivational speeches and stuff on Twitter. It's like, motherfucker, you killed your wife.
He golfed a lot.
Hung out. He lived life. Made a bunch of money off his book called "If I Did It."
Oh my god.
That's insane.
That's actually crazy.
I just recently saw on Twitter too that there's like a theory that maybe the sun did it. That's why the glove fit. Because it's his son, so they have the same size hand, potentially.
You want to know something?
What?
I actually really don't know much about the OJ case. Like when I just said like he was innocent, I immediately felt stupid.
Because you're like, was he?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Did he get away with it? I forget. Like,
no, he got away with it.
Yeah.
Somehow. Because that case this is only the one thing I know about the case, is that
Consumed by the media.
I guess they had the jury walk into the house, and I think the jury was majority black, maybe. I might be wrong on this.
Black women.
Is black women? Okay. And OJ was friends with a lot of white people, and like in their house on the walls, there's a bunch of like pictures of like them with his white friends. And so before the people came in to look at his house, they took all the white people off and put him up with like more black people to like appeal to the jury.
How can you do that?
And apparently he'd like sweet talk the jury like in between sessions and whatever.
Masterclass
flirt with them.
Getting away with murder.
Yeah. Damn.
And then so this is just like a perfect encapsulation of like serial killers, because like charismatic, women like them, they become idolized on the media only talks about them. Just like all the serial killers wrapped up, like that's essentially what Mickey and Mallory are. See, look at what he's spelling.
Oh my God, Scott.
Before we started, we were talking about how Scott's typing is just atrocious.
That's actually insane, Scott.
Read that for us.
No, I was just fact checking ourselves. Doesn't need to be brought up.
No, read after the jury consisted of.
Oh, like what I wrote?
No. What it says in highlight.
Oh, sorry.
What the jury consisted of.
8 blacks,
Whoa,
2
dude.
Hispanics.
Oh my God.
1 half Caucasian.
No, I'm kidding. I just wanted you to say blacks.
Can't believe Google still has that up.
Yeah, that is
I guess there's only one way to say it though. People, you could add people next to it.
Black people. I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know, like the woke in me. I don't really know. It never sounded good to call black people blacks. Like, it's just,
No,
it
it's
is
definitely
never,
not.
it has never sounded good. Like, I can't believe that was ever like just kind of normal at one point.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like,
Not
I don't
kinda
know.
crazy,
Like,
it is crazy.
like Hispanics, it just doesn't sound as bad as like, like.
Okay.
We'll
Anyway.
stop right there.
I'm sweating over here.
Gonna X out of that.
All right. Back to the movie.
Yeah. I mean, that did have something to do with the movie. That's clearly something that they are kind of getting towards. Like that's a message that they're going after.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, we just talked about it for like a good 5+ minutes.
Right. Probably longer than that.
Yeah.
And then so one more thing that I don't like about it is the structure. I don't like how like jarring it is. Like it starts off with them deep, they've already been killers and they kill the people in the cafe. Then it like kind of jumps back and it's just like, it's kind of chaotic in the way that it's like hard to follow what happened with how they killed people, which maybe that's not important, but it just feels like a little jarring with the way it's like, I don't really like the scenes when it's like just him and Mallory going around killing people or they're hanging out. Like I don't really like those scenes that much. I like the scenes, like the last half of the movie much better whenever
the prison.
Yeah, when it focuses on the interviewer and then the prison and like everything that happens there. I love the ending of it. Like the last half, that's what I like.
No, the ending was incredible.
After the 1 year later, because everything before the 1 year later, Tarantino didn't write, except for some stuff in the beginning. I think it's after the credit sequence with the superimposed background when they're driving with the car. Tarantino added that in the script, but everything after that was what they rewrote. And then the last half is pretty much the Tarantino part.
Makes sense. That's why it was my favorite part of the movie.
I like the last part. Yeah.
I was gonna say why I do like the beginning of the movie and why I say this is like evil. Terrence Malick directed this, is that kind of experimental style is almost like it's memories, right? You're kind of jumping around, getting flashes of things, and it's like not quite linear. I really like that.
Yeah, it's definitely showing how it's just their interpretation of Mickey and Mallory's, like it's the interpretation of how they see the world.
Yeah.
Everybody is like the spawn of Satan, pretty much. Like this world is like the world's about to end to them. I mean, everybody's just like looking for a way out. They just don't know it yet, and it's showing why they believe that. And it's showing like the flashbacks. I mean, like Woody Harrelson's character, like, I mean, he's constantly seeing like the devil, demons, like monsters, and then like she's seeing the same thing too, but like it was really cutting back to her dad, who they made actually look like a monster. So it's just yeah.
It's like
it's justifying why these characters are doing what they're doing, because this world is fucked, and we need to like do our part in like getting people out of it.
That makes sense that Mickey has a lot of them, more of the demon flashes and the fire flashes, because he has been a monster for a while, because his trauma was when he was younger.
Yeah.
But Mallory's has kind of not just happened, but like it's more recent. So she hasn't maybe became the monster. Like she became the monster whenever Mickey kind of told her it's okay.
Yeah, because Mickey inherited it. He said his father was just like it, grandfather, great-grandfather. Like he says it. He was like, I think this is just fate. Like this is just who I was born to be. Or as the movie's called, Natural Born Killer.
They said it.
They said it. Gotta love a movie that puts the title in the dialogue.
Sometimes I wonder if like the title gets picked after they write it, because like they have working titles, and like once they say a word, like that's the fucking title of the movie.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Because you always have like a work, and then like when they say like that line, we're just natural born killers.
I don't think so with this movie, just because the message is just media consumption, and so natural born killer is pretty much saying like anybody who's born nowadays, like they don't even have a choice. They're gonna be exploited to just seeing really bad stuff on TV. Like murder is gonna be nothing to them by the time they're like 10. The idea of it, at least.
Yeah.
And so long ago, it was all about protecting like a child's innocence for as long as you could. Now, obviously, you can't protect them forever, but like nowadays, I mean, you slip up a tiny bit, and your 5-year-old is watching some fucked up video on YouTube, and it's real.
Yeah.
And it's just I kind of like the play of like natural born killers, like we all are in a sense right now, just because of everything that we're constantly seeing, even on TV. Even if you're just watching the Super Bowl with your family, a pretty innocent pastime, but you're still going to see a movie trailer,
with like a building getting exploded.
Yeah. Or just a scary movie. Like you're going to see something bad. Like I remember being a kid and movie trailers would scare me. I remember. Like
yeah,
I remember
for
I remember there was one movie, Quarantine. Like I don't know if y'all remember.
I don't think I've seen it. I feel like I have seen the trailer for it.
I've told you a story because I actually watched the movie, but I remember when I saw the trailer, there's like a scene where like a girl like gets taken from under her bed, and they use the same exact noise and the same exact shot in Taken, but it's the like when the girl gets taken for the first time and she makes that like terrible scream. You don't know what I'm talking about, Scott?
That scarred you? Yeah.
I can't do it, but
the Wilhelm.
I don't know the Wilhelm.
Fuck. Really? You don't either?
I don't think so. Maybe.
I'm pulling it up.
I'm sure once we hear it.
I'm just saying, like, I saw a trailer for that when I was like 7, 8, and it scared me.
Oh, is that the Star Wars one?
No.
The what? Yeah, that is a Star Wars one.
I guess it is a Star Wars one.
That's not what I'm talking about.
But it's like in more than just Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that scream. That scream did not traumatize me. I actually enjoyed that scream when I was a kid. I mean,
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wow.
It's funny. Laugh, Scott. It's funny.
It is funny.
Anyways, that's my interpretation of Natural Born Killer.
And people were criticizing. This is like a controversial movie. People were criticizing it because
I fucking bet.
Because they're so obviously it's so it looks as if it could be glorifying killing. if you watch it, that's not the message of it. But like people that don't really get it, or just watching it surface level, will be like, this is glorifying killing. But Oliver Stone was like, no, I made this as like a satire of like the world. Like I'm not trying to promote killing.
Shout out to the 90s, man. This is when they were really, I think, mind fucking audiences. I mean, you think, like, I'm just thinking, like, because what you just said perfectly described how Fight Club was taken by the masses. Like, so many people, they were just like, oh my God, like, they're telling us to quit our jobs and go blow up buildings. No, they're actually saying, don't do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A funny little fun fact about the movie: the little Coca-Cola commercial that played
with the polar bears.
Yeah. So the film, or maybe Oliver Stone or whoever talked to Coca-Cola, they said, hey, can we use this commercial? We are making a movie. It's gonna have like a reference to like real-time TV. So can we use it? Coca-Cola said yes without knowing what the movie was, and they saw the final product. They were furious.
I bet. Because they showed that commercial at a very, very crucial and like disturbing point of the movie.
When was it? It was after the
middle of the interview.
Yeah.
Might have been after the Natural Born Killers line.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But Coca-Cola was not happy with how they used their clip.
That's awesome. Because when I saw it watching the movie, I was like, how did they get Coca-Cola?
Right?
How did they make this work?
Because at first when I saw it, you see the polar bears, you're like, okay, that's Coca-Cola, but maybe they're not going to show the logo because like, they're just going to hint to it because we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Then the polar bear picks up the Coca-Cola sign. You're like, oh, wow, they got Coca-Cola. How much money do you think they gave them? Because Coca-Cola, they probably paid them as for like the,
you got to
the
pay
sponsorship money.
Sponsorship, yeah.
So if they paid for it and they're like, that's what it is. That just goes to show what you're talking about earlier with how you had more free reign back in the day in that time in, Hollywood. You had free reign by the artists. And so
they weren't actually going to check. It's movies like this where, Coca-Cola, they're probably going to send a representative out like, hey, make sure that we're like in good light in this movie.
Exactly. Because I've heard that a lot of beer companies, like you can actually reach out to a lot of beer companies if you're making a movie or a short or something. And they'll send you like cases of beer to put in their movie as long as it's not violent or there's not anything that's going to make the brand look bad.
Yeah.
If it's just guys like hanging out, drinking in a bar, you can add you can go reach out to Bud Light and they'll give you some beers for the movie.
Makes sense.
But it has to be approved because of things like this. So like we can't have Mickey being a Budweiser guy just killing motherfuckers left and right.
Yeah, I'm sure if they paid them, they would have found out what the movie's about. They probably just got permission to use the
you're
brand.
probably right. Yeah. It's not like a big, it's not like a big product. I mean, it is a big product placement, but yeah, they probably didn't. That's probably how they got the not having to show them what the movie was. That's pretty funny though, just tricking them. They're like, imagine seeing the CEO like, what? You gave permission for this?
Yeah. What did you just say to me?
That's funny. But all right. Got any final thoughts, Gray?
I left it all out there on the field this episode.
There you go.
That's all I got. Good movie. A lot to think about.
Scott?
10 out of 10.
Boom. All right, thank you guys for listening. Comment below your thoughts on Natural Born Killers. Let us know if you like it, if you don't like it. Let us know if you agree with what we said. And we'll catch you next week. We're out.
Trying to buy my next meal. Seems all I do is drive. And when the boss man sends my next check in the mail, I'll have enough for